That's all I got. Technically, my speech started yesterday as your leader when I sent a Facebook connection to some of you who got it. Raise your hand. So several of you are already seeing what I have prepared today. So I hope that doesn't count against my time because I'll just sit down. My speech today is about the persuasive leader. That's right. That's me today. And my objectives are clear. They're so clear, they're written right here in black and white. It says, I am to communicate my vision and my mission to an audience. Check. I am to convince, this is a tricky part, I am to convince this audience to follow my vision and my mission. This is the part that gets tricky. So what they're asking me is, ask not what I can do for Toastmasters. Ask Toastmasters what you can do for me. Really? An example. A couple of years ago, I hear a knock at the door. It's exciting. I open said door. There's a salesman. He takes enthusiastically a full coffee can full of potting soil and heaves it through onto my carpeting because his vision and his mission was to sell me a vacuum cleaner. Lucky for him, I have a lot of kids and nothing to do. So I invited him to come on in. He vacuumed. He even did my bed and everything else. Have you ever seen that where they come in and do your mattress and everything else? That's when I thunderously shut the door on him and locked the deadbolt. I don't personally take well to somebody else's vision or mission. I look around and see a group of people who are pretty solid in their thinking. I don't suspect you do that well either. So this was a difficult task for me, this particular assignment, because I thought to myself, what is my vision and my mission for Toastmasters? Well, truthfully, it's you. It is what each and every one of you want to get out of Toastmasters. That's my vision and my mission. So, I considered the past speeches, which is always helpful. That's why YouTube's a nice thing to have. Hussein came up once and he talked about wanting to perform on TED Talks. So that's what I came up with. I thought, TED Talks. I wasn't even quite sure what TED Talks was and what it meant. So here we go. Technology, Entertainment, and Design Talks. TED. Turns out through my research, TED Talks, who knew this besides Carl, who's not here? TED Talks began here in Monterey in the 1980s. Here. It was here for over 10 years. It was here. The gentleman who designed it, he came up with the idea that these three ideas are now commingled back in the 1980s. He thought we no longer have a separate technology, entertainment, and design. It's one unit. It's becoming more and more one unit. Technology, entertainment, design. Look at all the things that we do with those three things. Now, the further thing he did that was fascinating to me, and I liked it very much for communicating as my vision and mission to you guys, is he had the same mindset I do in a way. He didn't want to have a specific topic at any of his talks, at any of his, he referred to them as gatherings. we'll call this our gathering. He didn't want that. He wanted individuals who had a passion about technology, had a fascination with design, had just amazing talent and entertainment, and invited them on this basis, something he liked. He liked what they had to say. So that's who got invited to begin with to the TED Talks. Was an invitation only. The organizer chose people he simply, plain old-fashioned, liked what they were going to tell and share, to enrich the community that was talking and listening, and to enrich the world. And that's how TED Talks came to be. Here. Then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. He finally sold it. He's not with it anymore. He went away. What I propose from henceforth, even though we're doing a fabulous job as speakers and presenters, I look at us, and we are all from such diverse backgrounds. I challenge us all to consider TED Talks, to look at the things I provided online, and to consider, for instance, you in the military. Really and truly, if you're at DLI or if you're at MPS and you have an assignment and you are thinking about how to one-up for your professor, give it to us. You can ask Arnie not to videotape if it's something that's sensitive. He just won't do it. So you can try out a drop and give me 20 speech on us. You can drone on and on about drones. You can, right here. If you want to share your next book, Pat, right here, even if it's really dirty, you can say, Arnie, put this on YouTube twice. Because we are individuals. Whatever it is, for me who's a writer, yes, talk about that. Tatiana, who cracks us up, both these ladies that are scientists, fabulous entertainment with the science, the truth of their science, plus the language barrier thing, the social issues this one has. I want you guys to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. That is my mission. That is my vision of this club. We can, in fact, continue and find out how we can get on TED Talk X, which is the community TED Talks, and I have somebody talking to me about that online, so that's exciting. But we are already doing it because the biggies for TED Talks is be enthusiastic about a subject, know your subject, and be on time. We do that now. I challenge you to join me with Up in Our Game, ladies and gentlemen, here at Toastmasters. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
I probably will not have nearly the amount of energy as either Kyle or Kate, but I'll do my best. Persuasive speaking, 5, they're persuasive leader, communicate a vision, a mission to the audience, convince the audience to work toward achieving the vision, the mission. Okay, so we're talking about TED Talks, very similar to a Toastmasters experience, conveying information, being up front. How effectively did the speaker convey the mission? I thought it was very clear. What is the purpose of Toastmasters? It's to help others, which is what TED's about, right? Is to inform. Did the speaker connect the vision to the wants, hopes of the audience? I noticed you made specific calls out to Hussein, Pat, and Tatiana specifically, which is fine. Did you use anecdotes to enhance? Yes, the history of TED it's in Monterey. I never knew that. I knew Monterey had some, but I didn't realize it started here. And I wonder why it started here. That would be interesting to look into. You walked up, you had a sign sort of attached to you. I wasn't sure at first if that was intentional or accidental, but then I quickly realized it was definitely intentional. But that was good because it's like, wait, she's wearing a sign, that's unusual, and then you get interested, why is she doing this? I thought that was a good move. You had excellent use of gesture, the vocal variety, energy especially, movement, going back and forth, excellent on it, especially when the theme of the meeting is also get physical. It's coincided with that. You encourage the group to get active in TED, to participate in actually making a presentation or to attending a TED event. The one thing I thought you may not have needed to do was to explain the purpose of the speech. It's on the agenda, and I'm going to do it, so I would say just get into it, because your time is limited. You were telling us why you were making this specific speech, what the parameters were. So that's the only thing I would have a critique about. You posed questions to the group. Excellent. Get us thinking. Get us active. So overall, outstanding. I think you met all of the, checked all the boxes for what you were supposed to do. I think you did them extremely well. It's very difficult to evaluate you because I have to look very carefully. Like I say, the only thing I think is not needing to explain the purpose. Everything else, so awesome. Thank you very much. That's my evaluation. I really have no more energy, so I'm going to go sit down.